Hey guys, it's Golden Knight 27 here, doing a quick deck profile for you guys. I just wanted to profile this deck because not long ago I did a poll for you guys, letting you guys decide what deck you guys wanted to see next, and it was between Speedroids and Dinomist, and Speedroid ended up winning out as the deck that got voted on, but the poll, it was so close, and Dinomist, it was almost like, I think like 52 to 48%. So I wanted to go ahead and do the deck profile anyways, just for the people that wanted to see the Dinomist deck profile. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. I'm going to do this one as kind of a quickie just because a lot of the Dinomist effects are pretty repetitive. There's many different ways you can play this deck. Mine focuses on primarily getting out Cyber Dragon Infinity as the win condition. And then if not, I've got the Draco engine, a small Draco engine built into it. Not too heavy just because I wanted to keep it pretty true to being Dinomist, okay? So, for the main monster, I've got 3 Rex. And so Rex has a pretty cool effect. So he is a scale 6, and his pendulum effect is once while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate any, you can negate an activated card effect that targets a Dinomist monster you control, then destroy this card. His monster effect allows him to, during the damage step, either make a second attack if you tribute another Dinomist monster, and if he attacks a defense position monster, he'll do piercing damage, or you can tribute another Dinomist monster and shuffle one card that your opponent has in their hand at random or on their side of the field into the deck, and then this card gains 100 attack. So he was the first of the boss monsters to come out. And then later on we got Spinos and Shining Victories, scale 3. If another Dinomist card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead. So I'm not going to read the pendulum effects for any more of the Dinomist monsters because all the scale 3s have the same effect and all of the scale 6 have the same effects. So I'll only read their monster effects. This one, tribute a Dinomist monster, then activate one of these effects. This one can attack your opponent directly, or it can make a second attack during your battle phase. It works well with Rex, because Rex as the boss monster was not enough for this deck, so when Spinos came out, I was happy that we got, another option. But, I do hope that there's going to be more Dinomist support, and I believe there is going to be some. Do not hold me to that, but from what I understand, I think there's going to be another Dinomist monster. So, next, I play 3 Terran. So this one, when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add 1 Dinomist card to your hand. That's his monster effect. Next, 3 Brachion. So you can special summon this one if you do not control another copy of himself on the field, and your opponent controls a monster. Next, 2 Plesios. All face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dinomist monster you control. 2 Dinomist Ceratops. If all monsters you control are Dinomist monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then 1 Stegosaur to control a pendulum monster. If you have a pendulum monster that you control, and it attacks your opponent's monster after damage calculation, you can destroy those monsters. So that's it for the Dinomist lineup. So I also play 3 Master Pendulum, the Draco Slayers, and this particular card, I just wanted to have it in the deck just because it gives me the option to do some plays from the extra deck that you need the Draco monsters for. So that's why he's in here. He is a scale 3 as well. But his effect is once while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can target 1 card in a pendulum zone and destroy it. Next, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. One of those because I can't run more. If I could, I would run a full set of 3 of these. So he's a scale 5. Once per turn, if a card in your other pendulum zone, if you have a card in your other pendulum zone, you can destroy that card. And if you do, add one card from your deck to your hand with the same name as that card. So in a lot of decks, this card is, I don't want to say it's broken, but it is highly effective in the Draco Pals and Pepe. So that's all I've got for the monsters. So we'll move on to the spell and trap cards, and I'm going to do it similarly to the Speedroids, where I didn't separate spell and trap completely. I just made it more of the relevant and the themed spell and trap cards are going to get displayed first, and then the remaining ones will get displayed after. Alright, so we're going to start out with the field card, 3 dynamic power load. And so this is going to give your Dinomist an extra 300 attack and defense. And then when your Dinomist monsters that you control battle, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So that's pretty simple. It's good for protecting your Dinomist monsters or having your opponent hit you with a battle trap. Next, 2 Dinomist charge, and this card allows you to add a Dinomist card from your deck to your hand, and then once per turn, if a Dinomist card is added from the field to the extra deck, it goes to your hand instead. So it's pretty cool. You get to special summon a Dinomist monster from your deck, and then you can add a Dinomist card that would go to the extra deck to your hand instead. So it's pretty cool. Next, 3 Dinomist Rush. This one allows you to special summon a Dinomist monster from your deck. If you do, it's unaffected by other card effects. So you can't use your own effects on your monster, which is kind of a downside, but it also prevents your opponent from using their effects on that same monster. So it's pretty cool. You have to destroy the monster at the end of the turn, but the way that you special summon it most of the time, you're going into an extra deck play anyways, so you're not too worried about that. Next, Dinomist Eruption. If a Dinomist monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. So that's pretty cool. Just gives you some extra power in your deck just to take out some of the field, so some field destruction. Next, I'm going to get on to the some of the cards that'll be less specific to Dinomist, but still useful in the deck. Xyz Reborn. Like I said, my main win condition for the deck is I'm looking for Cyber Dragon Infinity. So this one allows you to bring back an Xyz monster from your graveyard and special summon it. And if you do, you use Xyz Reborn as Xyz material. Next, 2 Overlay Regen, just because you target a face-up Xyz monster that you already have, and this card becomes Xyz material to it. So, really nice card. In case you're using some of your Xyz materials for their effects, this kind of allows you to get Xyz materials back. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. 1 Polymerization. I'll have to explain this one in the extra deck. It's mainly for a Panzer Dragon just because I don't have any instant fusions. Somehow I just never got around to buying any or collecting any. I just never bought any of the packs where instant fusion was, you know, printed, and I never took the time to buy it. But, you know, for this particular casual deck, I can't really say that I can warrant instant fusion, but because I have the Draco monsters, which are dragons, and I've got the Dinomist monsters, which are all machines, I can make Panzer Dragon this way. 1 limiter removal, just because it has the ability to double the attack of all of your machine monsters that you control until the end of the turn. So it's good to be either used in the battle phase or during your opponent's battle phase, or your own is how I should have said it, just because it's going to give you OTK potential. And it's just handy to have in there. Not required, but it does not hurt. Next, Bottomless Trap Hole. Everybody knows what that does. Wall of Disruption. When your opponent declares an attack, all attack position monsters that they control lose 800 attack for each monster that they control. Alright, so that's it for the spell and trap cards, and then I'm going to move on to the extra deck, okay? Alright, for the extra deck monsters, I'll run through most of these pretty quickly, just because they're going to be kind of some of your standard ones that you play. So this deck has a lot of rank 4 and rank 5 options. So some of these standard ones that you'll see in most rank 4 decks. Castell to destroy a card on the field. Gaga Cowboy to get over some big stuff or do some burn damage. And then Utopia. You could also run Utopia the Lightning in this deck. I don't have it in this particular one, just because I prefer to play it in a different deck that I have, and I've only got one copy of Lightning, so I could potentially swap it in, but typically I don't like to mix cards between decks. I like to have a copy of every card that I need for every deck, so then I could pick up any deck at any moment, at any given time, grab the deck box, and it's ready to play. Next, DDD Marksman King Tell. Not many people I've seen run this card in many decks aside from DDDs, but it's good for doing some burn damage to your opponent based off of card effects. Next, Volcasaurus. You can target one monster that your opponent controls, and then you would do damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack by detaching one Xyz material. Next, win condition of this deck, Cyber Dragon Nova and Infinity. So Nova is in this deck just to make Infinity. Infinity is the great granddaddy of this deck. This whole deck is designed to make Infinity quickly, and then if he gets destroyed, bring him back with the Xyz material. Not the Xyz material, but the Xyz Reborn. Just because Cyber Dragon Infinity is amazing in pretty much any deck that can make it. Negates your opponent's effects, has the ability to take their face-up attack position monsters and use them as Xyz material for himself. So it's the ultimate beat down, slap in the face kind of play that you can do. Your opponent, you're gonna take their monster, use it as Xyz material, and you can potentially detach that same material to negate your opponent's card effects. So it's amazing. I like it. It gets rid of problem monsters, and it also has, you know, effect negation as well. Next, I'd mentioned earlier, Panzer Dragon. So Panzer Dragon, when he's destroyed, since the graveyard, target one card on the field, destroy that target. If I had Instant Fusion in this deck, I'd probably use him to make Nova, but I don't have Instant Fusion, so it is what it is. I'll fuse if I need to make him, and destroy a card on the field later when he's destroyed, of course, but I could also use him as a wall if I needed to. Next, One Luster Prominence, that is, the Blasting Draco Slayer. Not Luster, I'm sorry, Ignister, Majester, and 3 Dinoster. So these cards are all excellent. That's the reason why I play the Draco Slayer cards, is for these guys as backup, just in case Infinity plan isn't going well, you know, something is going south. I've got those options to make these guys. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of this deck profile. You can make this a few different ways. There's a lot of rank 5 plays in this deck. There's a lot of rank 4 plays in this deck. So this is just a simple version. I didn't want to invest too much money or time into this particular deck just because it's simply going to be a casual deck. So hopefully you guys enjoy it and give Dinomist a shot. Make your own little spin on it. Let me know what you guys have done with Dinomist a little bit different. Let me know if you guys are planning on playing Dinomist at any point, or if you guys have any confirmation that they are releasing more Dinomist cards. Be sure to leave those bits of information in the comments. I'm sure other people watching this video will appreciate it, and so will I. So look forward to it. Let's see if we can get more likes on this video than we get on the Speedroid video, and so that'll just let me know what you guys liked better. So I created the poll. Speedroid won the poll, but because it's being so close between the two decks, I want to see which deck profile you guys like more. Okay, so subscribe and you'll see more deck profiles from me. You'll see some pack openings. I'll do discussion videos, so look forward to that material. I will see you guys on the next video. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you.